Hey everyone, Double J here. Welcome to a video that I'm actually pretty. I don't know. I don't know why I'm doing this video. I just thought it'd be interesting. It's about Fortnite. Yeah, I know YouTubers are all over Fortnite nowadays. No, I'm actually gonna be playing Fortnite on my channel, but that's not the point. Today I'm actually making a theory about Fortnite, and it's sort of been discussed already. But I have a turn, or I have a little tiny twist that I'd like to throw in as my theory. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, there's Fortnite Battle Royale and Fortnite Save the World. I honestly really like Fortnite Save the World better, but Fortnite Battle Royale is still fun. However, there are theories that Fortnite Battle Royale, or that Fortnite Save the World is a simulation for Fortnite Battle Royale, or that Fortnite Battle Royale is a simulation to help train for Fortnite Save the World. Either way, my theory is a bit different. My theory is that they're both simulations for something else. Um, specifically, the fact that specifically for something that might be coming out. I'm not even sure. No evidence to support this. But I think that the two types of Fortnite are not just like I don't know. They're not exactly the theories or the theories that come out for them aren't exactly accurate. I think that they're both simulations for something greater that combines both of them together. If you look at Fortnite Battle Royale, the one everyone knows, I'm just gonna call Fortnite Battle. I'm just gonna call Fortnite Battle Royale Fortnite, just so you guys know from now on. It's just much easier to say. And I'm gonna say Save the World for Fortnite Save the World. Okay. For Fortnite, it's interesting because it's more of an offensive kind of game. You're always being forced out of a zone where you're trying, so you can't really defend in one area as easily. If you're trying to defend, the zone or the storm pushes you out, and you have to go and basically be on the offensive. Where in Fortnite, no, I'm sorry, Save the World, you're basically at a defensive state the whole time. You're protecting certain missions, like you're trying to protect a certain area from the zombies or the husks, my bad. You're trying to protect your base. It's almost always some sort of protection mission. You're trying to protect the weather van, whatever it's called, Lars's weather van. I can't remember what it was called. But you're always doing a defensive kind of mission. Now in combat, there's defensive and there's offensive. Sometimes you have to hold a line. Sometimes you have to go and push further into uncharted territory, and that's kind of just war in general. So if you look at it in that way, both of them are two separate parts of a battle because each battle will have both parts. Sometimes when you're being overrun, you have to be pushed back and you have to regroup at a certain area, or you have to hold a line, like I said. But sometimes if you have the advantage and the enemy isn't exactly as big of a threat, you could push forward and take out their numbers. Now, this is just speaking from a tactical kind of viewpoint, but both of those are necessary in battles. Like in general, that's just how they work. So my idea is that in Fortnite in general, just both of them together, they're both different simulations for different circumstances or different parts of a mission. Not to mention, in both types of Fortnite, when you die in the game, you actually are teleported out by this little tiny. I don't remember what it was called, but it's a little tiny thing that teleports you out. And so that's why there's no blood or gore. You just get teleported out of the fight by a little tiny like drone thing. I don't know what to call it. And sent back to what I would see as a simulation room or something like that. You know what I mean? And in Fortnite Save the World, it does actually show the player controlling the characters. So it is obviously a simulation in that aspect. But the same little drone occurs in Fortnite Battle Royale as well. So it can't just be the one that's a simulation, you know? Not to mention, one also includes crafting, the other one includes combat. Now, for Fortnite Save the World, it is obvious that it's defensive game or defensive game mode kind of thing, but also you're crafting, which means you have to be able to know your weapons better to hold off a line. If you're going the offensive, it's more just like you brute force a lot of the time. If you have enough ammunition and you have enough supplies, you're normally already set. But sometimes you get caught off guard and have to hold your line with what you have. And sometimes using what you have to create better resources out of those materials, kind of like a MacGyver situation, like you do in Fortnite Save the World. it'll help you hold the line longer. Now, once again, this is just from tactical kind of side of it, and believe it or not, I am very strategic when it comes to strategy. I'm actually an expert, you could say. Um, I do actually enjoy strategy games in general, and I'm very good at them. I'm not saying I'm the best, but I do know a lot about strategy, and especially war type of strategy, because I'm able to figure out certain ways to handle certain situations in certain with certain supplies and certain resources, that kind of stuff. And I play a lot of simulators like that, but of course they're not real. But in general, I'm very good with strategy, so I'm thinking of this from a strategic point, and it does make sense that both of them would be two separate simulations for combat in general. Now, the question is, what would they be simulations for? I don't know, but it just makes more sense to me that they're both a simulation of some sort that combine into one, because they are two different sides of the same coin. So, and that's basically all I have today. Is that those are and if you want to look at some of the details for the theories that are already out there, yeah, they do actually support my theory a bit too. Like the thing where you get teleported out, that's part of why it's a simulation, is because people have said that's a detail that would make sense, because you're not going to die in a simulation. You're just going to kind of be sent back to your normal consciousness. You know what I mean? So if you look at it that way, it makes sense that there's a lot of details that people have come up with for the theories that are already out there about one being a simulation for the other that still work with my theory. So if you want to know more about it, go look at those. I don't exactly have many off the top of my head, but I have seen multiple videos about it, and I do actually know a few more, but I just can't remember them right now. So I know they're out there because there's been videos where they're talked about. But either way, that's my theory. Take it, leave it, whatever. But if they do come out with something else for the game, where both those are both simulations, that'd be cool. And I will admit, Fortnite has a lot of lore. Like, there's a lot of lore that hasn't been explained yet. That's just the game in general. They're in season 8 now, I believe. I think season 8 just came out, like, yesterday. I don't remember when it was. A few days ago. And there's still a lot of secrets in Fortnite that no one really knows. So it just makes sense that there'd be something in the future that would make everything more visible. You know what I mean? Not to mention, in Fortnite Battle Royale, you do have to be adapted. You do have to adapt to your scenario, kind of like the whole map has been adapting for since Fortnite started. There's been changes with where the whole map is filled with snow. There's been a change where random objects from real life, by the way, started teleporting to their area. So like the pyramid, kind of like not pyramid, the Egyptian theme, the Viking theme, all that stuff was in Fortnite a while ago. There's a lot of things that change around the map, and that just expands on the adaptability of a combat scenario. Um, Especially since your enemy could change the surroundings or the things around you to kind of make things difficult. And if you do, oh wait, it doesn't make sense, because if you look at who's changed the maps, normally they're the villain, or they're part of the evil side who's kind of destroying Fortnite, as it would seem. Omega was one. He was basically he changed the whole map by destroying. Well, I don't know if he just I don't know about the lore, to be honest, because there's a lot of lore that kind of is more theorized. But Omega had changed stuff by crashing the meteor into everything, or the Visitor. Was it the Visitor or Visitor or Omega? And the prison was taken out, so everyone must skip that. Then there was also the Traveler did change up the map by teleporting things around with the rocket that went off, which apparently he was the one who set it off, so it would make sense. Then there was the Ice King, or yeah, Ice King, whatever that skin is called. He turned the whole map into ice. Um, there was the cube, which was formed by I think the Rift. So once again, the Traveler. Like just throughout Fortnite, there's been a lot of changes to the map, and they've all been done by a villain of the story. So it would make sense. But anyways, I'm ending this video here. Bye everyone. I hope you guys actually look into this theory more, because I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it. I know not a lot of people comment down below, but it'd be interesting to me. So yeah, I'm always open for more ideas, and this is just mine. So take it, leave it, whatever. Don't care. I just thought it'd be interesting to talk about. Anyways, bye everyone.